Well, when you've got something like this being made, processed, what is the process that you yourself go through? Do you assemble a whole pile of things and then start mixing and matching and a bit of trial and error, or is there a bit more science involved in there?
It's a bit of both, Michael. I think when you do your Diploma of Herbs, you get a fundamental knowledge on what herbs are for the different systems of the body.
Yep.
And so it's up to you then to use that knowledge and mix and match. You get a fair idea of what herbs work well together. They complement each other, and you play with those. Again, you've always consistently staying safe with whatever herbs you use. And then there's a process where you need to trial and error and use those on family and friends. Yeah. And that takes quite a long time because, I mean, everyone's body's different. People are going to react to different things in a different way. So definitely the knowledge is a huge part of that. I think your anatomy and physiology really comes into it as well as a naturopath, because you need to understand how the body reacts to certain things. And then, yes, definitely trial and error after that, and people get to be good examples.
Yes, because you mentioned your son, and
yes.
Now, hopefully he's not going to be blushing too much having his bottom discussed on television.
I did get his approval first.
Oh, beautiful.
I think the fact that he was 4 years old then, as opposed to being 19 now, might be all right. But, I mean, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
That was an absolute blessing. And that's when I knew I was onto something really amazing here.
Yeah.
So from there on in too, this is the muscle ease cream as well.
Yeah.
I decided, I mean, I've been for the last 5-10 years changing things ever so slightly, just changing them just so that they can work more efficiently. Yeah.
Yes. And we'll just keep on that skin repair cream a little bit. You look as though you've got absolute beautiful skin, face. You're using it each day, or is it a daily regime?
I do use it every day. The wonderful thing about it, Michael, is that you can use it as many times as you like. It's purely plant-based, so it has no synthetic harsh chemical in it at all. I use it as a day and night moisturising cream. So I put it on first thing in the morning. In the hot summer months, I'll probably put it on 3 times a day, and then I use it as a night cream at night. And
does it have any sun repelling or properties?
No, I wanted to keep too much stimulation out of the product.
Yeah.
I think products like that are great, and I do see a few natural ones out there that are fantastic, and I think good on them. But because this is a day and night moisturising cream as well as a skin repair, they're the only functional things I wanted happening in the cream. If you put too much stuff in there, then something else might get depleted.
Now, in the world of this type of material, skincare products and so on, how do you protect your formulations?
Yes, well, I've got intellectual property rights on the formulations, and you need to do that, especially when you know you're onto something that works really well. So there's a lot of regulations and things that you need to abide by in this country. Unfortunately, I've found they're not forthcoming. You need to search those things out. It costs a lot of money, but it's well worth it because it protects you, it protects your company, and it protects the recipe. Yes,
because we're seeing an interesting array of products coming out now. There's a company in Masterton that's making a mastitis cream out of old recycled tote rib joinery. Right. There are other products that we see with, for skincare, for muscles, makeups, and so on. And so, you think now, point of difference is still quite a big marketing tool, is it?
It is, and that is the first question. When I've done presentations around New Zealand, that is the first question that is asked of me. And I think when you're going to go into marketing something like this, or producing and marketing something, you have to have a point of difference. There's a lot of competition out there, and people want to know why your product is worth buying more than the one next to it. So that is really huge.
Now, an interesting thing too is that I've heard that in New Zealand, we're a small market, buying the containers that you're packaging stuff into can be an issue. You've either got to buy so many thousand or pay exorbitant amounts to buy 100 or a couple of hundred at a time.
That's right. I don't source mine here in New Zealand. Unfortunately, I think for something like that, if you're going to be sending your product or looking at sending your product overseas, I previously had mine in glass. I didn't feel that was a safe safe
Right,
way to
yeah.
go. So when you're going into plastics, good quality plastics, unfortunately I had to look outside of this country, which was, you know, it was a disappointment because I'm proud of the country and I
Yes.
wanted to keep as much of the product here as I could. So there isn't a lot of facility here for that. And I now find that when I do ordering, it's in huge quantities. So you have to already have quite a demand in the
Yeah.
market before you can get into something
Yes.
that big.
And going to ask deep personal question here. Some of the materials and the herbs that are in the skin repair, you know, you allowed to
Yes.
give anything away?
Well, yes, they're
Yeah.
all on my website.
Yeah.
The one thing that I made a decision I was going to do when I started these up, or when I repackaged them and labelled them and changed the ingredients, is I wanted the New Zealanders to know what was in there. I didn't want any hidden things.
Yeah.
And with the laws in our country at the moment, there's only so much that you have to declare.
Yeah.
So everything I've got on my website. But the main wonderful ingredients here is calendula, comfrey, burdock and rosehip.
Gosh, it almost sounds like you based it on a roast and cook with it. What a beautiful mixture that, you know,
Yeah, they
because
are.
yes, and especially calendula. That's
It's a
got to be
wonderful
one
herb.
of those herbs that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And another one that always springs to mind, plantain. Do you ever use that at all?
Plantain is a beautiful herb. It's fantastic for the skin. I mean, I say to people, if they've got plantain, you know, handy, it's a great way to use as a poultice.
Yes.
When you have skin inflammation or anything like that. Originally, I was thinking of having plantain in there. However, obviously, this recipe, I feel, you know, works better.
Yes, yes, and I would imagine too with plantain makes everything slightly bright green.
Well, it can do. It's just such a beautiful herb. I do really like it. But there are so many to choose from. I mean, it's endless what you
Yep.
can use on the body.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially the thing I like about comfrey is that most people have that growing around, and it's so great for your compost. It's great for your
Yes,
garden.
yes,
You know,
yes,
and I say, you know, if you haven't got anything else to use on your skin and your child gets a bee sting or something like
Yeah.
that, just go out and grab
Yes.
some leaves.
Yes. But I must give a little warning about comfrey.
Yes.
The leaves look very similar to foxglove, and so make sure, and it's probably true with all herbs, identification is a
Absolutely.
key if you're going to
Yes,
use it.
It is.
Because
Yes.
I once had a person in one of my organic classes that had attended a person who'd got comfrey and foxglove muddled up, and his heartbeat was down to single
Yes.
figures
Yes,
when they
yes.
got to him. Now, I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to do a little test and find out if that SkinCare can make this little face into a little bit more beautiful, and then we'll talk about some muscle ease.
Right.
How's that?
Okay,
So,
great.
may I be your guinea pig?
You may.
And I'm not going to put my bottom up for testing though.
There you go. Be prepared to change. So you should always keep it a little bit away from the eye
Right?
area.
Yep.
I'm saying that though, this is so gentle, it doesn't really affect. This is great. And if you just rub them together, and you'll feel the rosehip oil.
Yes.
It's
yes,
really nice.
Yes.
And I have to balance it out and do the other side now.
Yes. Yes.
So
you
otherwise
can't
you're
have me
gonna,
walking
well,
with a
you'll walk
limp.
a bit. Yeah, that's right. You'll be lopsided. You got good skin anyway, Michael. Your partner
Well,
might like this.
Yes, you caught me on a good day.
How's that, Michael?
Wow, feel like a new man. I've got lover's hands, kisses lips, and I reckon cheeks that could even do a snuggle. How's that? Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
That's lovely. Well, I'm pinching a couple. We've got the skin repair cream, which does all sorts of things from doing repairs, and then we've got the muscle ease, so that when I come in with this crook back, someone can rub me back. Well, look out for some of these products around the place, and the more closer to your garden you can get the products that you treat yourself with, the better you will be.